Hey everyone, it's Logan coming at you from Hunting Pros, and today is another beautiful day here in Nova Scotia, Canada. I believe the temperature is right around 27 or 28 degrees, but nevertheless, I just finished an awesome round at busting clays at the local trap range, and now I'm going to show you how to clean an over-under shotgun after using it. Now, not the method that I use at the end of the season when I plan on storing it for a while, but the method I use every time I take it out either clay shooting or hunting. Something that I do just takes about 5 minutes just to make sure the gun doesn't rust and to make sure there's no extra wear on the gun. Alright, so we're all set up now to clean this gun. The gun that you see in front of you is a Beretta 687 Silver Pigeon 3. This is a 12 gauge and has 28-inch barrels. For those of you that do follow my channel and watch my content, I used this quite a bit last season duck hunting. It's a great gun for upland as well, and I love it. But I had this out this morning, shot about 200 and some rounds through it, so I'm sure it's quite dirty and needs a good cleaning. First things first, I'm just going to prove the gun safe real quick. Make sure the safety is on, it's pointed in a safe direction. And there is nothing inside of those barrels other than debris from all the shooting. So first things first, we're going to have to take it apart. And in order to take this one apart, there's a little lever here. A lot of over-unders have the same thing. I know my Brownings do as well. You pull up on the lever, that releases the forearm. And then you open up the action and that will release the barrel and separate it from the stock. So once you have your gun broken down like this, the first thing that I always do is clean the inside of the barrels. Now there's multiple different methods of doing this. A lot of people will use a cleaning kit that has like a rod with multiple attachments for the end. They can put pieces of cotton swabs through it. They can use wire brushes, that type of thing. I don't use that method often. I do have a cleaning kit like that. But on the fly, I find the quickest way of doing it is with a bore snake, which is what this is. I guess the reason for calling it a snake is it looks like a snake. But essentially, there's this portion of it which does all the cleaning. And then there's this part of it here that really looks like a shoelace and it's weighted on the end. And the idea is you drop it down through the barrel and this pulls through, pulling everything out with it. So any excess debris, gunpowder, anything like that's going to come out. This particular one has a wire brush built into it, and that just helps break up any type of, hard debris in there that's hard to get out. And this does have a bit of bore solvent on it. I'll just mention that. I find that helps break stuff up as well. So I always put it through this end first. I don't usually put it through the end of the barrels. So you just drop it through. When you see it come out the other end, you just grab onto it like this, and you just pull it through. And quite a bit of black gunk came out of there. So now I'm going to do the other barrel. Pull it through. And there you go. Let's see what it looks like. It was very dirty before. I literally cannot see any debris in there now. And that's just going through it once. Take a look. And there you have it. Clean barrels, a little to no residue, and that's only putting through the bore snake once. So you repeat this process until there's little to nothing left. Alright, so next we're going to take part in a little bit of rust protection. And all I'm going to do for that is pick my favorite gun oil, which today is going to be Rem Oil. This is actually a really old can. I've probably had it for 2 or 3 years. But all you do is you take a cloth. As you can see, this one's been pretty saturated in the past with gun oil. You still smell it on there pretty heavily. All you do is you take some of that, spray it on the cloth, and then all exterior metal components of the gun, I'm going to make sure get a little brushing with this. So the barrels. This is to get rid of any fingerprints, any mist that got on it when I was outside, any rain droplets, hand oils, anything. I just want to make sure that no surface rust appears. And I'm even more conscious when I hunt over salt water. I'll do this for quite a while because you know what salt air can do to any type of metal. You've probably seen it on your brakes before or something on a vehicle. So I just give a very light coating of this. Anywhere I could see any type of contact with the elements. And that's it for the barrels. Get my fingerprints off of there. And I'd recommend doing all of this the second you get home or very shortly after. Surface rust can appear a lot quicker than you think, especially depending on the conditions you're around. So this is the first thing I do every time I get a gun home, is do this. And I'm also avoiding getting that on the wood. That can actually darken wood quite a bit, gun oil. I've experienced that in the past, and that's a mistake I don't want to make again. So make sure not to spray this around your stock. Make sure not to rub this on your stock. I mean, it would take quite a bit to actually damage the gun, but over the years, it's something that could definitely, you know, lead to damage. So after you're done that, essentially you're into the portion of it where I add a little bit of grease. Now, you can use whatever you want for grease. Some people use, you know, white lithium grease. Other people use engine grease. There's a bunch of different greases you can use for this. The stuff that I'm using today is white lithium grease. Now, I normally use something called gun butter. And that stuff's really good. I'm actually out right now. This doesn't take very much, and this is exclusive to over and unders. I put a little tiny bit on my finger, and I put it on any part of the gun that would rub together. So right where the hinge is, inside that receiver there, I'm going to put a very small coating of that around the hinge. Because what happens over time, if it's dry and you keep breaking it open and close, open and close, open and close, you'll actually almost see, and I've done this before, you'll see little tiny, like shavings of metal come off after a while, and it'll actually wear it down a bit. So I put a little bit of grease in there. This is a squeaky chair I'm sitting on. And where this attaches, where the forearm attaches to the barrels, I usually will put a little bit in that as well. Not that you're opening and closing that part of it a lot, but anywhere that you could get some wear out of it, I just make sure to have some grease there to break the wear. And then once you're done, that step, I just make sure I didn't miss any excess, you know, gun oil or, you know, particles of debris that came out of the barrels. There's nothing in there. So we have a clean gun now. That's how you clean a gun in less than 5 minutes. And it's basically a field cleaning. That's what I would do after every trip, just to make sure the life of your gun lasts a lot longer. All right, guys, so I have one more thing to note once you have your gun back together. Something that I'll usually do if I have the time is to take the choke tubes out. Now, this is only if you have screw-up chokes in your gun, is to take the choke tubes out. I'm just gonna do one for simplicity's sake, just to show you what to do. You screw out your choke. When the choke tube comes out, that same cloth that I use with, you know, that's saturated in oil, I'll rub that over the choke tube, get it in the threads to get any type of grit or anything that's in there out. I'll usually also, just to be quick, put my finger inside of the threads with the rag, get anything out that's in there. Quite a bit of black stuff came out, and now those threads are completely clean. You can put the chokes back in and you're ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This by no means was a very in-depth cleaning. This is what I call like a field cleaning. I do it shortly after shooting, and at the end of the year I usually do a very in-depth cleaning on my guns. Maybe I'll make a video on that someday. But for all intents and purposes, this was only supposed to be a 5-minute cleaning video about how to clean your over-under shotgun. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe. There'll be much more content coming. Thanks.